In this video, I'm going to be showing how to load and print on the cable marking tags for the Lighthouse CJ Pro II. First, open the lid of your machine to gain access to the inside. Then, take your roll of cable marking tags and suspend these at the rear of your printer in between these two sliders. Hold this in position and with your other hand, push this green button in and then push the sliders inwards to grab hold of the roll and allow it to suspend. Now that the roll is loaded at the rear of the printer, I also need to make sure that the actual roll itself is feeding from the top towards the front of the machine, and now we need to begin to feed it past the printhead carriage. To move the carriage out of the way, push this green button just here to release it, and then push the carriage all the way back to give you the most room to grab your tags. Before I pull these tags through, I need to ensure that these green sliders just here are moved as far out as they can go. The slider on the right hand side has a small black button that you can push in that allows you to slide these back and forth. So push this in and push as far out as it will go. You can then reach through your printer, grab hold of your tags and begin to pull these through the machine and also lay them flat to the base of the printer. Pull these forwards until you reach this rubber roller just here, and while still holding these flat, use your other hand to move these sliders inwards to grip the tags in place. This will help to keep them straight. You should also find that you can still slide these back and forth as needed. Moving my tags back slightly, we then need to make sure that our sensor is aligned. The sensor is just here inside my printer, and the left part here that is clear is the sensor itself. This can be moved left and right in order to line it up with the markers on the tags themselves, which in this case are in the center. Line the sensor up with those markers, and once that's lined up, keep pulling your tags through to the front of your printer until you reach the cutter, and then push it through the cutter and out of the front of the machine until you can grab it from the other side like this. Now that the tags are loaded, we can lower the printhead carriage back down, ensuring that it clicks into place, like so, and then the lid can be closed, and this is now ready to be printed on over in the software. Now that we are back in the software, I now need to go up to the top left and choose to open myself a new file. On the label setup wizard, ensure that your CJ Pro is selected and then choose Finish. This will then put you into the main designer. From here, double left click in the grey section to the side of your label to bring up your label setup. The first tab should be the Printer tab. From here, navigate to the right side of where it says your printer name and choose Properties. This will then open a separate window, and in my case has started on the Help and About tab. We only need to change a few things in here. Go to your page setup, and under Media Type, this needs to be set from Continuous Labels to Labels with black marks. Choose this, and if required, adjust your mark offset. By default, you can see here the printer assumes that the mark is on the label. If the mark is slightly above or below, you can use this to move it up and down. If you also require, you can go to the print options and adjust your top and left offsets if you notice it is consistently printing slightly off. For now, I'm just going to press OK and move on to the next tab, Paper Layout. I will set this to Portrait and disable the rotation, and then move to my dimensions. In my dimensions, I need to set my width and my height to the size of the label that I'm going to be printing. Now these different cable tags come in various different sizes, so make sure to measure yours to know which size to set to. Mine needs to be 50mm wide by 15mm high. Once you have set both of those, then move on to the next tab, the cutter settings. You need to make sure that the cutter is disabled at this stage. You will not be enabling this for any of these tags. Press OK, and your software will then reload to show you your label. From here, you can design your label as you normally would. In my case, I'm going to put some text on here, and will simply say ABC 123. I will make this slightly larger, and then center this to my label. Now that the label is set up and ready to go, I can go up to the top and press print. And in my print menu, I may want to check the printer tab if I need to make any adjustments to the speed it is printing, or the darkness that it is printing, or the heat. These can be adjusted to play around with your print quality. Returning to the General tab, set your number of labels to the quantity that you wish to print. In my case, I will print 4, and then press print to send these through. So my labels have now printed. We can see it had to miss some at the start, but this was the printer actually trying to locate these marker holes just here. As you can see, once it did locate those marker holes, it then carried on printing consistently and will continue to do so unless I remove these from my printer. I am still missing one label, however, and that's because it's still inside the cutter. I can use the feed key just here to get the printer to feed through and give me that last of my labels.